thing. I mean, and I tell that to guys now. I mean, there's guys in this era right here now that could get over back in mine, and there's guys in mine that could definitely get over in this one here. It's not the gimmick. It's not the storyline, because our storylines are simple, and it's not individuals didn't have a lot of gimmicks. It's that person behind it. It's that person that works his ass off every night in the ring and stays consistent and stays true to himself. And that's Stone Cold Steve Austin and my son Wes have become very good friends. And Stone Cold's advice to Wes every time he talks to him: be yourself, stay true to yourself. And I couldn't say it any better. But coming from Stone Cold to Wes, it means a hell of a lot more than me telling my son the same thing, But it's just true. These kids nowadays, they just stay themselves. And Roman Reigns, if he stays himself, and don't change, I mean, people are going to hate him and people are going to love him. Look at John Cena. He's one of the most revered guys, but in the beginning, people loved and hated him, But nowadays, they still love hate, but he's still one of the most revered guys there is. Stay true to yourself. Don't get off course. Don't let people talk you into change, and don't let the fans convince you need to change. Just be yourself, and pretty soon they'll see this is who you are. And they're good people, and that's my advice to these young guys now: is just don't get off course. If you believe in something, you believe it's strong, make it work, make it yours, and make it work.
That is awesome advice. And as we start to hit the wind down button, kind of gives Wes that advice. And on the other side of the spectrum, he gives you a Stone Cold Stunner when he was feuding with Vince and Pat Patterson. Do you think that's kind of fair at all?
I had more fun doing that than I had anything in my life. I used to rip Pat Patterson all the time. Pat, you and I worked for all of our careers trying to be a legit tough ass, considered a top class in-ring technician. But you know what? These last 3 or 4 years, we're going to go down as stooges. How's that make you feel? Oh, please don't say that. Please don't say that. No. He gets so pissed at me for saying that. But, I love it. It was fun. I took every damn finish I could possibly take, and I volunteered to do it because I just wanted to say I did it, I was 55 years old, man. I was having a ball of my life. Who wouldn't, at that age? Here you are getting exposed to a completely different generation of fans and customers that you'd never touched before, that weren't even alive, when you were working that hard to, get exposed. And it was such a thrill. And, I just look at it as, I was blessed to touch, another generation of fans. And I was extremely thankful for the opportunity and had a ball doing it. I'd do it all over again if I could.
And one key thing that you have to mention when you mention, the Stooges and the Attitude Era and Vince versus Austin and you and Pat Patterson, you guys got huge ratings. So the fans are into it too.
Yeah, isn't that phenomenal? And, you can go back on each one of our segments, and each one of the segments they had on the Stooges would be the peak of the show, and then we end up give props. And if you haven't got to get Pete Gass's book, Counting the Lights or whatever the name of it is, he'll be mad at me because I can't remember it. But it's a tremendous read, and one of tremendous young men. Those guys were so much fun and so cooperative to work with, and just, they did everything they could to help us along. But we had a ball in that match. We ended up having the highest rated segment of Raw of all time. Well, I think over 8 million people tuned in to see that thing. Of course, we parlayed Terry Bollea there, but what the hell? It was fun.
Yeah, mimicking the Hulk there coming out the Real American. It was a great, fun gimmick. And then then at the end of the night, you guys get beer poured on you and get a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah. How bad is that? Go from hero to zero just like that. But I don't know how many stunners I took and how many jackets he ripped off of me. And one thing I got to say about Steve, he respected us, but he respected the business so much too. that he didn't slack off on us. He worked with us like he worked with everybody else. I mean, when he said he stomped a mud hole into you, he stomped plenty of mud holes into me, and I mean, he'd nail me as hard as he could, and I loved it, and he loved it, you know, and I'd fight back as hard as I could, and wouldn't phase him. But it was an enjoyment to be in there, and like I said, what I appreciated, he treated us like he treated anybody else, and he didn't slack off on us or anything. And I think that's all part of what made that whole thing work, you know, was the cooperation that we had among each other. It was fun, guys.